We both, interestingly, grew up in New Jersey, although we did not know each other back then. We met out here in Colorado, but I think that's what initially attracted us to each other, was that sort of sarcastic attitude, you know, the New Jersey thing.
Like, you can say what you want to say, and Jen's like, whatever, okay, I'm not going to take offense to it.
We're big sports fans. We go out to dinner quite a bit. We like to try new restaurants.
We travel quite a bit. I think we do road trips. We just get along, that's what matters. We mesh.
In the middle of the night in February of 2018, I woke up and I was by myself and I had shooting pain down my left arm. I was nauseous, I was sweaty. My diagnosis was something called SCAD, which interestingly, I had been a cardiac nurse for almost 10 years at that point. I had never heard of it, and it stands for spontaneous coronary arterial dissection. The key being spontaneous. The arteries in the heart just tear, and we don't really know why. So that's what happened to me. So Lance and I moved in together in 2019, and I just felt like with my history, even though I really didn't have any expectation of having a second heart attack, it just made sense for him to get trained in CPR.
You said you wouldn't move in if I didn't get trained. I didn't push that envelope, like, let's, not worry about CPR. I'm like, fine, I'll take a CPR class.
In 2021, we got married, it was beautiful. We went on our honeymoon, it was beautiful. Within 10 days of getting back from our honeymoon, I had my second heart attack. It was actually 2 tears this time in 2 different arteries, but because I got help quickly, there was really no damage, no permanent damage to the heart. I spent a couple days in the ICU, a couple days on the cardiac telemetry unit, and then went home. I know the statistics of SCAD, and there's about a 30% likelihood of having a recurrence. A 3rd episode of SCAD is almost unheard of. So I thought, I'm good. I'll just go back to life as normal. My 3rd heart attack happened on a Sunday morning at 3 a.m. I woke Lance up and told him, I think I'm having a heart attack. I had that pain down my left arm.
We went to the emergency room and you listen to the doctors and you look at the results and they're like, okay, you seem good. I asked Jen, I'm like, hey, how are you feeling? You're like, all my symptoms are gone. And we're like, okay, let's get out of here. Sunday night, like usual, after dinner and cleanup, we sat down for an evening to watch some TV. All of a sudden I look over at Jen and she kind of looks pale. And she's not saying anything, and a part of me kind of thought she was almost joking, like, there's like, what's going on? And all of a sudden I kind of shake her a little bit, and then I see her grasp for breath. I immediately call 911. They get on the phone with me. I've got them on speakerphone. I try to explain to them that she's grasping for breath. I don't know if she's breathing or not. They immediately say, okay, you've got to perform CPR. The CPR class helped me for sure. I know my brain kicked in there. And then the EMT showed up probably, I think, 2 minutes later, and they took over.
What happened was, in that artery where they later found yet another tear, a blood clot had formed, which was in the exact right location that caused my heart to stop beating, basically. So that's when it turned into cardiac arrest. I was admitted on a Sunday night. I was in a coma until Wednesday. Woke up Wednesday afternoon and was discharged on a Friday morning. And I have just a couple memories from that time. My first conscious thought when I heard what happened was, I can write my book now. Who survives 3 heart attacks? I survived cardiac arrest because my husband knew what to do in an emergency. He was the lifeline between me and the first responders who got there. It may have only been 2 minutes, but that's what it took to save my life. Seconds count. I know that as a cardiac nurse. If you don't start CPR within a minute, you immediately start to run a risk of losing brain function. And it is so important, and it's such an easy thing for anyone to do. And so the American Heart Association is enabling that, and that we are getting as many people trained in CPR as possible. You are saving lives with your donations, and I am living proof.